Hello YouTube, this is Veteran Mountain Man coming to you again, and today we're going to discuss some more on 1776 conservatism, because today is just a news day where I'm not sure how to address what the biggest story is, so we're going to cover this instead. So today's topic on 1776 conservatism is the right to keep and bear arms. Now, for those of you who have not read the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, it states the following: the right of a free state, the right of a well-organized militia being essential to the freedom of a state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, with the Heller decision, the right of the people to bear arms included any commonly owned firearm on the market that can be used for a defensive purpose. So that made a lot of handguns and revolvers legal for concealed carry again, because there were some states that had made concealed carry illegal in attempts to fight crime. Truth be told, it didn't help. However, with the Heller decision, crime stats still have not gone up. And in fact, before the Heller decision, a lot of places had removed their restrictions on concealed carry and had started pushing the crime rates even lower faster, because of the fact is, criminals aren't stupid. If the civilian can shoot you because you are threatening to harm them or their property, that's more than the police can do to you. If the police shoot you, there's going to be a riot. But if a citizen shoots you, there's not. And it's been proven statistically and through multiple interviews that most criminals are more afraid of a citizen with a gun than they are a cop with a gun, because cops are far less likely to shoot you. Now, that being said, the right of an individual to maintain arms is an important right. What does it actually give you? Well, it gives you the right to self-defense against criminals. It also gives you rights to be secure in your personal effects, property, and papers, because the police can't threaten you with arms because you're armed as well. And it prevents tyranny from taking hold. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you've gone kooky right-wing tinfoil hat conspiracy theory there. But realistically, I haven't. I don't expect a tyrannical government to start within the United States. But I also can't be blamed for being prepared should one take hold. So, that being said, what do I recommend for your expression of your rights to keep and bear arms? Well, I recommend the standard 3-gun concept for defensive capability. Now, that being said, if you're a hunter, you might want to look at, say, a scout rifle as your rifle in the 3-gun concept. If you're not a hunter, then an AR-15 or an SKS or an AK-47. Although make sure that they are legal within your district to purchase, and that you are configured within your state and county and city laws. Will work just fine. If you're not concerned about a rifle for self-defense of the country, you can always look at a classic bolt action or lever action, or if you have other specialized needs such as ranching in Montana where there are grizzly bears, you might want to consider a camp gun as opposed to an AR, since the camp gun is in the 444 Marlin family and is actually effective against grizzly bears. So, that being said, I recommend a good, sturdy, serviceable rifle. And you should be looking at common-based ammunition types, so the 5.56 NATO, the 308 NATO, the 30-06, the 444, the 7.62 by 39, which is the Russian AK ammunition. These are all common ammos. Even a 7mm is a common ammo. But if you've got something like a 6.5mm Kokarov or a 5.7 FNP90, these are not common rounds. And so they're going to be very difficult in a national defense scenario to maintain ammunition for your weapon. So make sure you run with common ammunition. As for your shotgun, I recommend a simple auto loader with a shortened barrel. Usually you can go with, say, a Mossberg 930 or a Benelli or even a Remington. I know that the Mossberg is quite popular and easy to get a hold of and easy to operate. I have a Mossberg 930 myself. It's a very, very functional gun. My wife loves it. Ours is the Blackwater Special Operations Edition, so I have a breaching choke and a few other features on mine, but you don't need anything that fancy. Just the standard auto loader will do. And I recommend a good pistol. Now, for chassis frames on the pistol, I'm going to recommend a striker-fired weapon. And that's simply because of two reasons. One, striker-fired weapons are modern, easy to get a hold of, and easy to accessorize. Two, striker-fired weapons are extremely easy for a new user to learn to clean and maintain. Three, striker-fired weapons are relatively inexpensive. You've got your Glock, you've got your Springfield XD, you've got your M&P Shield, you've got your Walther, you've got... Just about everybody makes a striker-fired handgun at this point, and the striker-fired handguns are available in 9mm, 380 auto, 40 S&W, 45 ACP, and sometimes in some other choice rounds, including 10mm, 357 auto, 44 Express Magnum. I mean, realistically, striker-fired pistols are the equivalent of the AR chassis now in the handgun world, so I recommend those. Well, as for what you should do, should you be concerned that the federal government is going to end up tyrannical or damaged by a tyrannical invasion, I would say this: go get prepared. What is preparing? What is prepping? That's not a subject of my channel here. I'm not really a prepper. I'm a Southern guy, and I live the way I live, which is a lot of the times with very little. So I don't do a whole lot of prepping. Now, does that mean that myself and the prepper community don't share a lot of information? No, of course not. I mean, I've got dry goods stored away in airtight cans in my pantry because it's smart. But if you want to prep, go talk to a prepper. If you want to know about how to defend your freedoms, well, I'll talk to you about that. Anyhow, that's the end of this subject. Remember, 1776 conservatism is about being self-reliant, independent, thinking for yourself, critical analysis of what's going on, and the application of the Constitution as the final arbiter. I want to thank you all again, and have a nice day.